Okay, and this is an 18-year-old boy who came to our OP. He came with complaints of high-grade fever, headache, and post that was admitted into our emergency department. And post that, while during admission, the clinician noted that he had photophobia and neck stiffness. So, with fever, headache, neck stiffness, what is the first system which is affected that you would think about? It is the CNS system, obviously. So we think along the lines of meningitis. So looking for that, we specifically Koenig's sign and Brudinski's sign were both positive. So I'm just going to take a small chapter on meningitis. So what do you understand by the term meningitis? It's basically inflammation of the meninges surrounding the brain and spinal cord. So also it could be because of the infection of the subarachnoid space or the leptomeninges, but generally not associated with infection of the dura mater. There are two types generally associated with meningitis, which is critical for us: pyogenic meningitis and aseptic meningitis. Pyogenic meningitis is exclusively bacterial, and in that, the most common bacteria which commonly affects this pyogenic meningitis is Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now, based on the age group, there's further classification that I will come to later, but just remember, Streptococcus pneumoniae commonly is the most common across age groups, the most common cause. Aseptic meningitis could be viral, tubercular, fungal, or parasitic agents. The variety of agents depending on the age group associated, depending on the pathogen associated also. Now, how does it spread? What is the pathogenesis? Main point is it's normally associated with septicemia, which is there, which septicemia, which is there. Then what happens with this septicemia is, mm, along with that, the other mode of transmission is a direct spread from an infected site. There are some predisposing factors which prelude to this causing meningitis. Okay, anatomical defects in case there's a septal defect, something along those lines can also prelude to an immediate cause of meningitis. Then direct intraneural spread along the nerve. Certain viruses spread through the nerves, like rabies, herpes. They spread through the nerves, which causes the meningitis associated. The predisposing factors associated with this is obviously immunosuppressed individuals. Who do we associate with immunosuppressed? In this COVID era, you would know who the immunosuppressed are: the older age group, the younger age group. Then importance. Please make sure you all are vaccinated. Vaccination is such an important factor because some of these are vaccine preventable diseases, like especially Streptococcus pneumoniae. Factors that promote infection at primary sites also play an important role, where in case you're not maintaining your site, maintaining your IV line, all those also can lead to normal flora causing infection. Then immunosuppressive drugs. Then in case CSF shunts, these are factors where in case it is not maintained properly, they play an important role to predispose it. Now, any breach in the blood-brain barrier also plays an important role in the transmission of the infection. Other important factors which play a role are microbial virulence factors, which play include capsular polysaccharide, lipoic acid, IgA proteases. Now, there are variety depending on what pathogen that you're associating with. Now, in this chapter, we'll be focusing primarily on the pyogenic meningitis aspect. So, what are the causes of pyogenic meningitis? You need to know this because this is the most common forms of meningitis which is there. So, especially bacterial, which you can cure with antibiotics. Now, in neonates or infants, the common causes are E. coli, group E, streptococci, listeria, monocytogenes. Then even other gram-negative bacilli also play an important role. Now, depending on various factors, we have to confirm that it is a pathogen. Between 2 to 20, we look at Neisseria meningitis, Haemophilus influenza, and Streptococcus pneumoniae. Greater than 20, it's the same thing, the order is reversed. Now, overall, the most common agent generally is Streptococcus pneumoniae. Aseptic meningitis, you have enteroviruses which play a role in that: polio, Coxsackie, and then you have herpes simplex, arboviruses, adenoviruses. Think about some examples of arboviruses and let me know. Now, for aseptic bacterial, you have Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Treponema pallidum, Leptospirosis. Now, how are we differentiating this bacterial from the other one is simple. Pus producing and various protein factors associated, it is different. Now, what are the parasites which cause meningitis? Naegleria, Acanthamoeba, Toxoplasma, fungi, Cryptococcus. These are all just the base organisms that I'm talking about. There are many more unusual organisms which are coming up right now, especially in this scenario with COVID. It is being associated with multiple other organisms. Now, fungal meningitis, some of the other causes I'm telling you, histoplasma, these are all which didn't come earlier, aspergillosis. There is all increase in all of these right now. Now, how do you diagnose a case of meningitis? CSF is the most common, most ideal method. Collect the CSF, do a lumbar puncture under strict conditions, do a biochemical analysis, look for the protein, look for the protein, look for the cells. Mm. Then you do a microbiological examination, do a gram stain, Zn stain, India ink stain, do a wet mount depending on the organisms. Now, for further convenience, we can do a latex agglutination kit test, which is there. Depending on the organisms, I forgot that. Wait 1 second. Yeah. Depending on the organisms, there are these kits which can play a role. Do a culture do a culture based on what the culture goes. We can decide the organism. Other tests are there, and that's about it. Thank you. And I've got some questions for you. I before you, after you finish seeing this video, I'd like you to write a short note on meningitis. Write a short note on pyogenic meningitis and aseptic meningitis, and submit it in the LMS platform.